All right, I guess we are live. This is a very retro, one night only. Something catastrophically huge had to be happening on the Earth to take place event. This is Spitball Media, but it's for tonight's shot. It's Break the Apocalypse.
Yeah, man. One night only. We haven't had a break the apocalypse for what, 3.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
4 years almost, probably.
Mm. Going on
So yeah,
four,
this is
yeah.
a complete throwback, man. This is you haven't seen this since 2022. So we're back for
Yeah.
one night only.
Well, it would take a lot when Shaw spearheaded taking the show into a completely different direction, which we needed to do. I'm sure this was the last thing on anybody's mind, but it would take a really big event, especially something very personal and very like just changing the landscape of the whole world, for us to stop talking about movies. So Shah, really let people know. Obviously they might be already aware, but how personal this actually is, and a little bit of the history that we're looking at, that maybe they're completely unaware of about
Right.
your country.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, I was born in Tehran, Iran, and then I moved to Germany when I was 10. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to go back since then. Because basically, if you leave the country and you go to a foreign country, and you're a boy, especially if you don't go to the army, they will give you a hard time. So I've always been afraid that I would get trapped if I go back and get arrested. Um, Plus, to be honest with you, my family had ties to certain people that they didn't like.
Mm.
So I could never go back. But Iran as going currently, a lot of people are saying it's protest, but I would consider it a revolution at this point. We're almost on the 13th day, and people are not backing down. And this has been 47 years in the making, man. I mean, the revolution happened in 1979. I was born in 87.
Hmm.
And for people that don't know, as soon as the revolution happened, the Gulf War happened, which,
Hmm.
Iraq attacked Iran immediately, a year after the revolution. Because Iran was so, with the regime change, Saddam figured, Iran would be super weak.
Hmm.
So it's a good time to attack to try to take over the Persian Gulf. Um, so I remember all that, man. I mean, I was born literally in war. The war ended 2 years after I was born. So, it's a lot of a lot of trauma with Iran. So obviously I have personal ties to it because I remember it like the back of my hand. I went to school there till fourth grade. So it's very close to my heart. And I have a lot of family there. My friends there still that I'm in communication with. Thankfully, the internet came back today.
Hmm.
It was off yesterday, but it looks like it's back today. So yeah, just a little bit of a background on me and what's going on with Iran. But obviously, we'll get into every nook and cranny and kind of give you a breakdown of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, so I was born in 71. So I do have a little memory of the hostages being dragged out with the bandages on, and you know, um, the condemnation from American, point of view. And I was only like 7 years old. It was dominated, like the 247 were the channels, ABC, NBC, CBS news cycle all the time, and it was kind of scary. And then you heard like radio stations talk about, like, giving Iran like the finger, like, all these like very, which was edgy, I guess, to say. And then I honestly feel that you might you might laugh, but most of young people's or younger people's understanding of the country, or even middle-aged people, is the movie Argo, which was, it was a reenactment of, American hostages getting snuck out through the government, during this regime change, because we had, not a lot of Americans living there, shop, but there are Americans were tolerated there, just like everybody was tolerated there prior.
Right. And hopefully, Americans can go back one day because, back in the 60s and 70s, Iran was a vacation spot. It was not what you were used to. Because again, we're Persian, so we're not, we get mixed in with surrounding countries, which are mostly Arab. So we've got this image that people are used to with turbans and all that, but that was never part of our culture until literally the Ayatollah came. That was
Right.
never part of our culture. We never wore headgear, none of that shit. That was all brand new, and I think that's mainly why a lot of Iranians have like issues with Arabs because
Hmm.
they definitely had an influence on Iran. I mean, and Iran, like, it's funny because Iranians were technically Shiite Muslims. So most Arabs, they're Sunnis,
Mm,
and so many started supporting the Ayatollah. Even in Iraq, you look at Iraq and their protests; they have more pictures of Khomeini and Khamenei than Saddam Hussein.
mhm.
Which is ironic because we went to war with them, but now they love
Yeah, yeah.
now
Now
they
they love
love
him.
them.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
And today I saw it. There's this guy. Vice did a documentary on him. His name is Abu Israel, right?
Mm,
And Israel in Arabic, it means the angel of death.
mm.
So his name is Abu Israel. If you want to look him up, Vice did a
So
documentary on this
badass.
guy. He's terrible. He's a horrible person.
What's the
He's
badass name?
yeah. He's Iraqi, and he's basically leading a militia of Iraqi Muslims into Iran to help the IRGC.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so there's a lot happening, man, as far as with Iraq and other Arab influences on Iran. But like I said, back in the day was very different, and I want to play a quick clip, if you don't mind,
Hmm.
of what it looks like, back in the 70s.
This was right before the Ayatollah, right?
Yeah, this is 1970.
Now who is that? Was that the king? God, look at these women. Jesus Christ. What Shah, do you know what year this is?
And nowadays, you can't do any of this shit.
Yeah,
Absolutely
hey,
none
did
of
you
it.
hear anything I said during that clip?
No. What did you
Oh,
say?
that's a problem. Because
Oh, what did you say?
well, no, I was asking you like what if you knew what year it was, and also you don't want to have all that like silence in a clip that when people play it back. But
Oh, you can
so
you can hear the audio.
I couldn't hear any audio,
Oh, okay, that's
and
why.
you couldn't hear me either, and you couldn't hear me either.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
That was
asking
that
you
was probably
what
the
year it was.
probably early 70s. It just said 70s, so I'm not sure exactly what year it was. Um,
Wow.
but the Vogue magazine. They did a.
Hmm.
This is in Iran in the 70s too. This is Vogue magazine
Wow.
with Iranian women. Can you imagine that? This is the 70s, bro.
Jesus Christ.
This is
Wow.
insane.
Jeez. So what? So give people, if you can, just like sort of a moderate version of what happened. How did we go from hot pants and like Vogue shoots to beekeeper outfits and beheadings in public square?
So Iran obviously was under Reza Shah. He was the father of the Shah that we're talking about, and
Okay, the Shah.
yeah, and people loved the Shah at first, and he started to make more money with gas in the Western world, and a lot of people were poor, and I think he made the mistake of not giving more back to the people. Possibly some greed, but he was a much better option than what we got afterwards. So the way that the Ayatollahs won is that Khomeini was he was super religious, right? He was born
Oh
in like
yeah,
one
he
of these,
was right.
yeah,
Okay, he's yeah.
he was born in one of these like small town villages, and he was a religious scholar, so he would record these tapes, and it was basically almost like tape trading with wrestling. Like people would
Jeez.
tape trade his messages, and the Shah didn't like him, so he kicked him out of the country. He went to France, and he would still record in France, and I don't know why France supported him. France
Hmm.
supported him. Carter backed him up. The U.S.
Wow.
and the Democrats at the time backed him up. um, and basically, when people were not doing well in Iran, they blamed Shah and they started to look at him as a dictator. And they wanted him out because Khomeini was promising people that if I come back, I will give people free gas, free electricity, free
Hmm.
homes, free food. He said everything would be free. So that's how he gained people's trust and support. And then, of course, when he came, none of that happened, and we got
Hmm.
Sharia law, and people had to start wearing hijabs. Women can do anything anymore,
Hmm.
you know. Um,
Wow.
and, these are things that I saw like with my own family. My mom would get in trouble for wearing nail polish or lipstick or just too
Wow.
much hair hanging out. I remember I went to England and I got a Hulk Hogan jacket in 1992, and it had the American flag on the back of the jacket. And I wore this in school in fourth grade, and they took the jacket from me and ripped it. They ripped it. They've cut my hair in school before, because what they would do is they would come to you and they would put their fingers through your hair. If the
Hmm.
hair came through the fingers, they would
Mm.
literally shave
Oh,
your head.
anything above the
Yeah,
finger.
anything above. And then of course it's different now. People have blue hair and tattoos on their face. But when I
Hmm.
was there, it was it was way worse in a sense.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, man, it's been crazy. But you know, hopefully there's a light at the end of the tunnel, man. I know they lost a lot of internet last night. People were losing hope that, um, things might end, but tonight apparently more people came out. Millions and millions came out.
Mm.
I know thousands died last night. I've seen a
Wow.
lot of clips of like just disgusting shit. Um, but yeah, but I don't know, man. What have you been seeing as far as the recent updates?
Everything I've been seeing is just global like recognition. In terms of other people going, can you believe this is happening? This is such an important moment. And I'm seeing videos of people on the ground asking America and Israel for help.
Yeah,
Like basically going, hey, remember when you said, you're not against the people? Well,
right.
the people are. Well, okay, can you help now? And they're
Yeah,
very right for doing that. And I think that's justified beyond the fucking pale. But I believe Trump has stated that he would help. I don't know if that's true. I haven't done a deep dive.
yeah, he
And
did.
apparently Israel is already sort of helping, in that regard. But that the democracies owe it to the people. That's the thing. You preach this against them, going, democracy is the way to go, and we'll help anybody, trying to be a democratic place. Now we don't know if democracy is coming, Shah, but what, and that was what I was going to ask you. Say the IRGC, which is the governing body, the ruling body of militarily, and also, from a government standpoint, is overthrown. They're
Right.
deposed, right? What are we looking at in terms of law, way of law, and life, quality of life for the people who did this?
Yeah, I mean, we're all hoping that King Reza Pahlavi comes back, but he's already stated many times that he doesn't want to have that position. He doesn't want to be king. But recently, he's changed his mind, where he said basically that he's going to leave it up completely up to the people. He said he
To the
doesn't want to
people.
force it. He doesn't want to influence people to pick him. But I mean, if you've been watching these clips, everybody's begging for him to come back. So I mean, he's already
Yeah, so
chosen.
it sounds like, yeah, it
Um,
sounds like a wrestling thing.
yeah, and you know what's the really interesting thing? In a monarchy in Iran, so basically when he dies, who's going to be next? It's going to
Hmm.
be his daughter.
Son, daughter.
So
Okay,
no,
I don't know what he has
so he
family.
only has a daughter. So Iran could potentially eventually just have a queen, which is
Wow.
crazy to think about. Like,
Now, what was
yeah,
the difference between the Shah's rule with the Shah and the king? The king was already disposed at that point, right? The royal family when the Shah was the governing body.
what do you mean? He was the royal family.
Oh, so the Shah is the king, essentially. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah. The
yeah, the
Shah
Shah is the king.
Shah
Okay.
means king. Shah just means king in Farsi.
Hmm.
You know. Um, but the thing is, man, it's funny because traditionally, like throughout history, um, Iran has been one of the countries that's protected the Jews. If you go
Hmm.
back and look in
Yeah.
ancient Persia, we always got along with them. So and then that was the case in the 70s. The Shah, he had a great relationship with Israel.
Menachem Bacon, I think it was.
Yeah, and that all
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
obviously after 1979.
Well, yeah,
In 79, when Khomeini came, that's when Hezbollah was birthed, because Israel was at war with
at war with
Lebanon.
Hezbollah. Yeah, Lebanon.
Well, they were at war with Lebanon. Hezbollah didn't exist yet.
Mm.
So Khomeini basically funded and helped them build Hezbollah in Lebanon. And then Iran basically owned Hezbollah for the rest of the time until today. This very day, Hezbollah is the biggest terrorist group right now, bigger than
Yeah, it
Hamas.
is.
And
Oh
by the
yeah,
way,
for sure.
a little random, but it kind of goes hand in hand with that. I saw clips today of New York City of people with Hamas flags,
Yeah,
like asking for Hamas. Like,
yeah.
we're
A
getting to a
lot of them
point, like,
too.
please,
Yeah.
please, man, do some research. Like, people are getting to a point where, like, be careful what flag you're waving, man. I mean, I've seen so many people raising the Islamic Republic flag in support of Iran. I'm like, you have the wrong flag. That's not, you
Yeah.
have people throwing up Hamas flags. I don't understand it, man. It's a bizarre world, and
It's a
even worse in the
bizarre
UK.
world. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, and listen, I mean, this is just part of what's going on. Unfortunately, is that these movements are silent for Iran. And the reason why they're silent for Iran is because they're already green lighting the body of government that is being overthrown in Iran for Palestinians. They're basically saying, yeah, you could be ruled under Sharia law. It's totally cool. It's not oppressive at all. So they couldn't possibly, Shah, go out in the streets for Iran and go, yeah, overthrow the IRGC, when they're already sort of campaigning and greenlighting that they're totally cool with that way of life for other people. So that's why it would be completely contradictory, to the fake clause that they've attached themselves to, as far as that goes. But I did notice tonight in the coverage, because it's been nonstop. Obviously, it's much later there now. Is the volume shot of people in the photos? It just becomes. It's almost like the blob. It becomes like bigger and bigger and bigger. Like it seems that more people are participating with less fear of any repercussions from the government.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see this clip right here. This is from the first night that it happened, and you'll see
Yeah.
shortly here. This guy is throwing gas on the IRCG, and
Jesus.
he blows them up. He lights them on
Oh.
fire, and unfortunately, they get him, man. So this man's definitely dead nowadays. But I mean, this
Oh,
is
what a fucking G.
yeah, it's a fucking hero, man. I mean, this is like I'll play you some clips from like the first nights, and you'll see the volume change. This is a grandma, bro. You see this with a
Yeah.
walker. It's a walker
Death to the dictator. Look at this. Oh my God.
screaming death to the dictator. She's got a walker on, bro.
Wow. Oh my. But there's a lot of people in that crowd,
Yeah,
and this was early. And now we're in what? We're going into night 13 today, tomorrow rather.
yeah.
Night
Yep,
13.
it's gonna be night 13. Yep.
Now, one thing I will say, Sean, and I'm going to plead naivete for this, is I'm not seeing violence against the protesters. I'm seeing the volume of like, I feel like this is one of the bigger differences between, how people perceive what's going on in Gaza and what's really going on in Iran. They thought selling, like, the violence and drama and all this other stuff would help. And then it turns out some of it's actually coordinated, and it just didn't resonate with people the same way. Here, all I'm seeing in my feed, I'm seeing a lot of it, man. Like a lot, is the positivity of it, the numbers of it, the ripping down of the cameras in the streets, the spray painting things on the building. I'm not seeing them getting beaten or attacked, or shot or anything like that. Like, I feel like this is starting to look like there's no violence to the general public, but you're saying that's completely not the case, right?
No, I can show you plenty of dead bodies, man. I mean, it just depends on your algorithm. I just didn't want to play
Okay.
those clips because of YouTube
Yeah, no,
reasons.
it's not helpful. I mean,
Um,
it's a
I
byproduct
mean,
of a
for
revolution.
example, I can't play the audio for whatever reason, but I'll
Yeah.
share this one clip real quick. This is probably like an 80-some-year-old lady, man, and she's out there. She's basically chanting and saying, "Here, I'll
Is
share
this the
the
one with the
audio."
blood in her mouth?
Yeah, and she's saying,
Yeah, I love this clip.
yeah, and she's literally saying, I'm not afraid. I've been dead for 47 years."
Yeah, she's got like blood in her mouth, like the stress, like, yeah. This might be the first time in public she's been allowed to do, like, she allowed herself to do that,
Yeah.
and and I do think, let me ask you a question, because I don't know what kind of answer you're going to have, but why do you think the most extreme, like, liberal, left-leaning person whose lifestyle is completely out of step with anything related to, an Islamic lifestyle, or an extreme, an extremist lifestyle? Why do you think they are so oblivious to the fact that, like rallying and, like, fucking, caping for all that looks completely counter? It literally does look like chickens for KFC.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I wish I had an answer for you, but that's the very same question I've been asking for the past few days on my Facebook is why are they silent and why do you fight for the ones that you're fighting for? I don't it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it because all the values that they claim, they want equality, freedom for women, all that. I'm like, well, then why are you standing up for like extreme Islamists? Like that's the opposite of what your values are. It makes absolutely no sense. So that
Mm.
I wish I had an answer for you, man. I mean, if anybody in the chat room can let us know.
Yeah,
I
why do
don't have
these
any.
honky bitches love that shit? That would really be the way to
You tell
phrase
me,
it.
man. Honestly, it makes no
So I,
sense to me.
I have I have a soft answer for you, as a
Okay.
as a resident honky. It's a little complex, so I'm gonna try my best not to fuck it up. Um, the most liberal, left-leaning people, like the Park Slope people and the Portland people, and as far as that goes, and they're majority white, like almost like I'm saying exclusive white. They have been co-opted by things like NPR and books and BLM to think that they cannot constructively critique a brown or black issue. Like they infantilize black and brown people to the point where they're almost like fairies and mythological creatures. Like they're so afraid to even throw the slightest critique, because that's the tenet of their bullshit, of their like ethos. It's that you can't have any sort of critical thinking. You just have to listen to what black and brown people tell you, because if you don't, you're a terrible person. Like they really believe this. Like, and I have examples of this miles high. And it's a form of soft bigotry on their part. And it's a form of infantilization, because in the real world, they're not interacting with a lot of black, brown, and Muslim people. They're not. You know,
Yeah.
they're just being told that if they don't treat them a certain way, they're right wingers, and they're more afraid of being called conservative publicly in their space, or being considered even left of center, which is where most of the country is, like than anything else. Like the thought of them being told they're not on the team scares them to death, because their whole identity shot is pretending to care about these people.
Yeah, and that's it's interesting you said that because I was watching the stream earlier, and it was two Persians. One was in Canada, one was in California, and they were saying the biggest issue with the left, because most Persians are pretty much conservative. They
I was gonna
they
say,
don't
yeah, and that.
they're not
Can I ask
left
why that is? Why do you think? What can I ask why?
because
Because
the
people
left
that might surprise a lot of people, dude.
because the left and the Democrats, they supported Ayatollah Khomeini, so
Okay.
they're the ones that co-signed that shit, dude.
Hmm.
So naturally they're gonna hate the left all the time.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not gonna. I mean, it's a bunch of commies, dude. They're not gonna support that shit. That's what it was. It was the commies
No, you're right.
and yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, socialist. It
Um,
was the socialist.
yeah, and that's what I mean. Literally, some of the chants are death to socialism or death to commies in Iran. You
Yeah.
know, they hate those movements because it ruined the country. You know,
Hmm.
and again, man, I mean, you got to go back. We lost our fucking culture, dude. Like that's what people are pissed about, because for many thousands of years we have one of the oldest cultures in the world.
Oh yeah.
We don't get mentioned, but we're just as important as Rome. We're just as important as Greece and Egypt and everything else that you hear of. But we've ruled 60% of the world at one point, and
Wow.
we've never been colonized. And that's something that like Persian people were really proud of. And then all of a sudden this guy comes in and he brings all these Arabs to the country and pretends that we're Arabs. And he starts to
Hmm.
paint this picture of, oh, we all need big beards and turbans. And none of that existed in Iran. That wasn't in
Hmm.
our blood. We're the only country in the Middle East that doesn't speak, Arabic other than Israel. Everybody
Hmm.
else speaks Arabic. We speak Farsi. You throw me in Saudi Arabia, I'm clueless. I have no idea. You throw me I don't know what the fuck to do. You throw me in Yemen, I don't blend in. I don't know what they're talking about,
Hmm.
you know? So it's
So, Shah,
completely
just for
different
people,
culture.
just to clarify for people too, because again, America has a very limited view of all this, right? People would consider you, because it is an Islamic run country, right? People would consider you Arab, right? But you're saying that that is absolutely not the case for people like of Iranian descent. You're not Arab,
Yeah, that's like me saying you're Mexican.
right?
That's
So
like
what
you're
are
not
you to people?
Mexican at
Just
all.
Iranian, like
We're
Iranian,
Aryan. We're the original Aryans. So
right?
Hitler stole the idea of Aryans from us. We were the
Which is a
original
tough
Aryans.
sell to tell people to call you.
But it's true though. I mean, we were the original. I mean, our country, Arya is a really like common name in Iran. Like,
Hmm.
we're known as the Aryans. So we were the kind of the original white people, man. I mean, it's just, with over time living in the Middle East, we've kind of just like, became a little olive colored.
Yeah.
And probably mixing with some, other
It,
Arabs
it,
around
it reminds me, Shah, the country reminds me very much of Sicily, because I watch like Sicilian TV shows, and they're when they call Italians white, they should watch some of these Italian TV shows because there ain't nothing white going on there. Um, and just like from a complexion and presentation, the features, the very dark hair, like olive color, like skin, the language, like Sicilian is like a Sicilians don't consider themselves Italian, right? They have their own language. Sicilian's its own language, and it almost sounds like Turkish, like it has a very specific dialect and stuff like that. It's
Well,
just
we're
remarkable to me, like how similar the Iranian culture is to so many other cultures, like Latin American cultures and Italian cultures and Greek culture.
we're technically Indo-Europeans, which means like we mix with Europe and India together back in the ancient times.
Mm.
Um, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was watching this clip earlier, and they were saying, are Persians closer to Arabs or Europeans? And the answer is Europeans because we're
Mm.
closer to Greeks, Italians,
Oh
and there was
yeah.
another one that they mentioned. They said we look alike a lot because, like, I mean, if you blend in Greeks and us, bro, it's hard to tell. You're not gonna be able to
Oh
tell,
Jesus. And
you
dude, I'm
know?
telling you, like real Italians.
Yeah,
You're thinking of these sloppy American Italian gutter people.
right.
Like Sicily. You watch a Sicilian, even Naples. You watch a Naples TV show, Neapolitan TV show. You're not going to think what you're going to think you're watching a Middle Eastern show. And I told you when I did my lineage, it's like Macedonia. It's like a lot of like Middle Eastern countries mixed into Sicily because of how many people. And this just came up in the chat right now. Ryan just brought it up. It was a pit stop geographically for every culture.
Right.
As far as that goes. So,
Yeah.
it's fascinating to me. But I have to say, I do find the lack of support from the American far left really strange. Like the balls to still be out here about Palestine when there is a literal revolution going on in the Middle East that recognizes like a democracy, in the best way possible and women's liberation. And you're fighting ICE agents, in the middle of the day instead of going to work and, screaming in front of synagogues in Queens, chanting, we support Hamas here. I mean, is there anyone stupider? This seems like the greatest cause for anybody to put themselves into. Like it's so easy to support these people.
Yeah. I mean, it's with Palestine, it's a much more complex issue than
Yeah, of
Iran,
course.
obviously. Because you look at Palestine, right? Palestine, yeah, they chose Hamas as their government, but what people don't also mention is that there was a civil war right after that happened with Palestinians trying to get them out of there.
They
So it's
did.
not like yeah, there was a civil war right after that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
They're
that just
kind of occupied too. They're kind of occupied
Yeah.
by
So that's
by
what I'm saying
Hamas.
though. But the tricky thing with Palestine is you don't see Palestine out there speaking against Hamas, right?
Mhm.
So you don't know who's a supporter and who's not. With Iran, people are clearly outside saying, "Yo, we death to the Ayatollah." Like they're not in Palestine saying death to Hamas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like which is easier to support. It's like,
yeah.
dude, they're literally
Yeah, they're too
fuck.
busy screaming about Israel. Yeah, that's the problem. But Don Stoney brought up a question because I think people honestly have legitimate questions in the best
Yeah.
nature possible. But what was the most prevalent religion prior to the Ayatollah, as far as now it's an extreme Islamic country?
Yeah, so around 1400 years ago, the Arabs introduced Islam when Muhammad came around, right? So before that, we were Zoroastrian. So Zoroastrian is it's similar to Buddhism. It's more of like a lifestyle about just being peaceful, being kind to other people,
Jesus.
animals. It's not really like there's no like prophets or anything. It's just a creator and just be a good human. So we were always Zoroastrians, and I would love it if we could go back to that, man. I mean, I have a necklace that I was wearing last night on the show that was
Mhm.
the Zoroastrian symbol, which was from Cyrus the Great. For the people that don't know, Cyrus the Great was, one of the greatest leaders of all time. He's the only look this up. Fact check me, people, please look it up. He's the only one that freed the slaves, bro. He freed the
Wow.
slaves. Everywhere he conquered, he freed the people and had them join them. That's why they lasted for so long, you know. And I'm telling you, man, look all this up, please. Look up Zoroastrian. Look up, Cyrus the Great. Look up what happened with Persepolis. Persepolis is one of the first civilizations of all time. It's the Persian,
Yeah,
basically
I've heard.
capital at the time. And we were the first ones to have, human rights. He had the first Bill of Rights ever.
Hmm.
Cyrus the Great is the one that created that. Astrology invented by Persians, geometry, algebra, all these things were created by us. And then you look at us now, it's like, how do we get here? Why do we go backwards? Oh, it's because Ayatollah brought this Arab bullshit to our country, and here we are. And now it's time to get it the fuck out, man. It don't belong
Yeah,
here,
and
bro. I'm sorry. I know that sounds
no,
Islamophobic or
I
what.
understand. Well,
I don't want them in my
I would
country, bro.
find
I
it very
don't.
hard for anyone with a straight face to call you Islamophobic, but
And they
you know,
can. I don't care. They can. There's people. There's people on my Instagram saying I'm a Jew that's being paid to talk about Iran. I'm like, bro, what?
I could
It's
think
like,
of a couple of
what?
problems with that statement.
Like, what, dude? I'm telling you, man. On Threads, follow me on Threads, Planet.Mondo. A couple of my posts went like viral, where it got like fucking like hundreds of retweets and shit. And there's tons of Americans. It's all white Americans, by the way, saying conservative white Americans that now hate Israel when 2 years ago they loved it. Now they all of a sudden they hate it. They're saying that I'm an Israeli that's being paid by the American government to post about Iran. It's just, it's unreal.
Which is funny because you've been openly very critical of Israel even during
Yeah.
the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
Like, you've not been shy about
Absolutely.
it at all. But none
Absolutely.
of that
I
matters.
understand where they come
But none
from.
of that matters. But none of that matters
Yeah.
now because you're not saying the thing that they want you to say.
Right.
And yet, yeah, I honestly, Shah, I haven't seen any of my very progressive left-leaning friends talk about this. They're obsessed with the woman in Minnesota, and that's not to take away, these things have to exist at the same time. Everything's important, but the difference is this is a global event that could literally change the landscape of other countries in similar occupations, in similar style occupation, in a very tepid region where shit pops the fuck off. Okay. Like Shah, like one of the things I thought about, Shah, and I don't know if this is like putting the cart before the horses. Let's say the king comes back and this is now the jewel of the Middle East. Like there's celebrations in the street, women are dancing, there's like, civil rights. How does Iraq respond on the border there?
Yeah. So that's the main thing that I'm worried about, is that if we become like the center of Middle East, where we're a lot allies with the West and cool with America, that's what I'm scared of, is because, again, this regime has supported so many other countries that all these Arab countries love that regime. They're no longer, the only ones that don't like them is Saudi Arabia, UAE, and fucking Qatar, the three allies of America. Other than that, all those other countries love the regime of Iran. Syria used to, Assad fucking loved them.
Assad,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Loved them. You look at fucking even back in the day with Libya and all these countries, man, like they fucking, because they've supported them, they funded terrorism many times, and if you pay attention, Iran's never been directly blamed for terrorism because they were the big dog, right? Like when you're in the mafia, you don't do the hits yourself, right? You pay the little guys. So they paid Yemen, they paid Iraq, they paid all these little, Arab countries. They never directly did it themselves, but a lot of those attacks, it was Iran. It was Khomeini. He was the one that paid for all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's got a $2 billion grave in Iran, and I hope they burn that shit down. By the
I
way,
don't know if you saw, they dug the grave up actually today.
It wasn't his. It was another.
Wasn't his?
Mom.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't his. They can't get into his, man. I mean, I'll be shocked if they can get into his. That's like,
they might. They seem pretty determined.
I hope they do, man. I hope they do. I hope they fucking drag his carcass out, his skeleton, whatever the fuck is left after 50 years.
God, dude.
I hope they drag it in the streets, and I hope they record it and we can see it. I would love for that to happen.
Well, tell us how you really feel. I don't think you should beat around the bush. I think you should be more forthcoming.
Yeah.
Shah, what could again? This is all educational, right? Tell me what the average American person who doesn't know a lot about this, what do they need to do to make sure they're hearing the right side of the story? Like, because their news services, a lot of their local, like podcasters, like a lot of them are very left leaning. They're hearing none of this. How do they make sure they're getting the true facts about what's going on?
I would highly recommend, there's 2 YouTube channels. One is called 2C TV. So it's TOUSI TV. and he's an Iranian guy. He's actually an Iranian Jew. He lives in the UK. Super Trump guy, like super conservative, and he's been covering this shit twice a day. So he does 2-hour
Wow.
streams, and he covers
Jesus.
all of this. By the way, this is one of the masjids. This is one of the famous mosques in Iran. They're burning it down. They're burning them left and right. And the reason
What are they
they're
burning? I'm
targeting,
sorry.
these are the mosques. We call them
They're
masjids.
they're burning mosques.
Yes, a ton, bro, a ton. They're burning them
Jesus.
all down. Look
Shot,
at
don't
it.
you think that's the breaking point though? They're burning mosques. Like
Yes.
there's no
There's
going
no
back
going
there.
back, bro. They burn fucking mosques, like multiple. This is not just, there's multiple they've burned left and right. And you know why they're burning them? Because the IRGC, all their shit is stashed under the mosques. That's where
Yeah,
they hide. That's where their weapons are. That's where their money is. That's where all that is. So that, and again, man, I'm so fucking proud of my people, man. There's no looting. There's no fighting between the people.
between
They're
each other,
straight up targeting the Islamist banks. They're targeting the mosques. They just burned down the government building. I'll show you that in a second.
Oh my God.
One second. I do want to show you this clip. This is not too many people have seen this clip.
Man.
This clip, it gave me chills, man. They stole an assault rifle from the IRGC and they did a motherfucking drive-by.
Oh my God, dude. I hope they were listening to Straight Outta Compton when they did it. Oh my God, that's a government truck, right?
Yep, all the green ones are government trucks. Yep.
Oh my God. Shaq, can you tell
man.
people the story about the new flag, like the difference between the flag where they see the other flag kicking the flag, like what the true flag is going to be?
Yeah, so we were always known as like lions, like fighters. Hence the reason, you know, the lion with the rising sun. That's always been our flag. Well, not always, you know, it's been our flag for hundreds of years, though. When the new regime came, they brought all these Islamic symbols and put it on our fucking flag. That's why, bro, it's all Arab influenced. That's why people want it out of there, you know. So, and Elon Musk, man, he actually launched it. He changed the Iranian flag emoji to the old one. So he's trolling Khamenei and all them because all of them have that old flag on their bro. All of them have the old flag on their profile, and when he changed it, it went to the Shah's flag. So all of the IRGC, all of them are having. It's glorious. And yeah, look at this, man. They're just Molotov cocktails left
That's
and
the
right.
government building.
Yep, they're targeting all the government buildings and just blowing them all.
Now,
up,
Shah, again, I just preface this because I don't want to sound like a rube. Like if this was America, most people have guns. What is the firearm situation there for a citizen? Do they have no access to firearms?
Only the Kurds. I think some of like the villagers have them. I do know that there is some Afghanis that are sending guns that America left behind. Some Afghanis that are against Taliban.
Oh, I was going to say, are these okay, so these are anti-Taliban.
These are anti-regime people that are just stuck in Afghanistan, and they're trying to help the Iranian people out, and they're sending messages saying, hey, we're sending weapons. As soon as you're done, come help us get out.
Wow.
So it's really interesting, man. There's a lot of crazy shit going on.
There's so many moving parts too, because like I said, this is like an insomnia to the Islamic regime, because if Iran falls, and Iran was really the motherfucker of motherfuckers in a lot of ways in this sort of republic, right? They were. I mean, they were the ultimate bad guy to the West. They had nuclear weapons. We were worried about them getting nuclear weapons, and you know, geographically speaking. Now, is this the? I just want to stay with the protest here. This is them in the streets taking over the highways and stuff.
Yeah, this is them stopping all the IRGC people, because a lot of them come in plain clothing too. So they're just stopping them, burning their motorcycles.
And Sean, I'm sorry, I feel like we should have explained. I know what the IRGC is, but can you explain to people what when we say the IRGC?
Yeah, so it's basically the police of Iran. They police everything. So it's like the moral police,
the government police,
the government of Iran. They're the moral police. All of that falls underneath it.
Yeah, everything, but also militarily. Like they are the spies. The
military is a separate thing, but I mean they're all under the same regime. But yeah, the military is a complete different sector of the government. You'll see it, since they don't have weapons, man. You'll see a car just run through the IRGC group. You see this right here? Look at this, just running them over.
White car. Wow. Yep. And the black is the IRGC.
Yep.
Wow.
That's that. I mean, a lot of times, man, all they have to do is just that's all they got.
Hmm. And Shah, you
That's
speak,
all they got.
are you fluent in Farsi?
Fluent, yeah,
Okay,
fluent.
so you could find great news sources for yourself and like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
without being compromised. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Do you expect eventually like the far left to even acknowledge this, even like, in any capacity, or is everybody like from your perspective, they're not needed, because they do seem to be very loud and they do seem to take over the headlines a lot, when the far left has like a ideology.
At this point, man, I think it's a little too late. I don't really want the left to go out and protest for my people. I'm actually debating on driving to Washington tomorrow. There's a protest in Washington in front of the
Jesus.
Iran embassy, which I'm sure is gonna be pretty wild.
Yeah.
Cause
Oh, you think?
yeah. So I don't know, man. I might be going there tomorrow. Sunday there's a protest in Philadelphia about it. So this weekend, I'm boots on the ground, man. I'm outside this
You're
weekend.
back. You're back to your
Yeah,
protesting days.
yeah, man. I'm back with the shits, and I'm this time, man. I do it for a better cause, man. It's not people stealing
Oh
fucking
yeah,
Jordans
this is
and
for
looting
positivity.
shit.
And I have to say, as when I was a kid, like I said, growing up, there were people with the picture with the Shah. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but not the Shah, excuse me, the Ayatollah, with the bullseye. I remember
Hmm.
seeing that in like restaurants and bars and like fast food places in the 70s
Hmm.
and into the 80s. And then, of course, like, movies like Argo. Like I said, it's a brilliant, you've seen Argo, right? It's fucking
Yeah, I
brilliant,
haven't.
bro.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant movie. And it's very historically accurate. Like they made a point of making sure they told this story. But you see how this beautiful country turned on a dime. Like literally, like it was always a little tense and there was a little, but everybody was getting by. And then it was just, nope, you know, as far as that goes. Um, I just find it fascinating that like we're alive for something like this so important when it feels like nothing important ever really happens globally, just bad things. This might be one of the best things that's happened, I think, for civil rights,
Yeah.
maybe in our lifetime. Like I don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah, I think this is some of the largest protests that you've seen. And as you can see, man, again, no weapons. They're going face first to them. They're fighting them with poles. And I don't necessarily want
Look
the
at this.
left. Yeah, they're throwing fireworks into the crowds, trying
Yeah,
to steal
look
their
at that, man.
weapons.
Jesus.
Um, this motivates me, man. I feel guilty because I should be there. You know what I mean?
You know what? I understand why you're saying that. I do.
Yeah,
You see
I,
that,
I
you
do
feel
feel
a little,
guilty because I didn't have that.
you feel a little fucked up, you
Yeah,
know?
because I didn't have that choice, man. I was moved as a child. It wasn't my choice to leave. And then I could never return. So it's one of those things where I feel it's almost like survivor's guilt, when you're like,
Yeah.
man, I should be there. I should be there because I
Well,
know
let me.
100%, bro. If I was there, man, I swear to
Oh,
God,
forget it.
man, I
Yeah,
would
you'd be
skin
out.
half
Yeah,
these
you'd be
guys
running the
myself,
channel
man.
all day. How important to it to excuse me? How important is it now to you, knowing that it's very real that you could go back? How important would it be to go back to you if you were able to go back?
John, this is the most important moment of my life. I've never
Yeah,
had a
I
child.
believe
I've
I
never gotten
100. I
married.
said that to my wife earlier today.
This is
I
it's
I said
it
this
by
is
a
the most.
landslide. It's not even like there's nothing compares to it. This is the biggest thing that would ever happen to me. Again, I've never been married, I've never had a child, so I don't have those like huge events in my life that people would usually go to. This would be the biggest event of my life. And you look at clips like this. Look at it. This is a very it's like a 2-second clip, so you got to watch it very
Yeah,
closely.
yeah.
But there's an IRGC member in the middle of the street, and you'll see two people just tackle him out of nowhere. And this is how they're taking him out one by one, man. Look at this, out of nowhere, boom,
Oh
got
my
him,
God, that was so fast.
got him. Out of nowhere, fucking got him.
Jesus Christ. Now, is this
Boom.
youth? Is this youth culture, or
All
is this
youth,
a?
bro. These
It's
are all
all
the
the youth.
youngins, man. These are all people my age and below, man. These are. I mean, again, you see some grandmas, and look at these fucking bastards, man. Look at these fucking bastards. I want you to hear this, and for people like that don't believe that they're just directly just killing people, it doesn't show the clip, so you won't see anything disgusting. Look at this man. They're about to, the RGC's right behind them. They're about to just shoot him.
Oh my God! Right in the street. right
right
in
in the street, right in front of stores.
a residential, like, yeah, like a commercial area.
Yeah, and then of course you mentioned, they're burning down all these flags, but look at all the blood on the floor. You see all that blood?
Yeah, I see it to the left. It's
Yeah,
covered
look
left
at
and
all that
center.
blood,
Yeah.
all that blood, man.
This guy's burning down signs.
Yeah, all the Islamic
Jesus
signs, man.
Christ.
Got to get rid
Why,
of all that shit,
Shah,
man.
why is it this generation? Why not 4 generations previous? What is so different about this generation that they're able to do what no one has been able to do for nearly half a fucking century?
I don't think anybody has a correct answer for that. If you want my personal opinion, I'm going to say
Well,
the
yeah,
internet.
I think you're qualified to answer it.
I think the internet. I think the internet was the breaking point, because a lot of people, I watch a lot of clips. My algorithm is like mostly people from Iran now. Just watching
Yeah.
these clips. So I see so many where they weren't even familiar with the Shah, because they don't teach that history in Iran. With internet, they discovered these things. They saw pictures of what it used to look like in the 70s. And they're like, what the fuck happened to us? Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing? They have access to see what's in the Western world. When I grew up in Iran, we had 3 channels. You know what was on the channels all day?
State TV.
Just mullahs, just them praying, bro. That's
Right.
all I watched my whole life. I didn't grow up on Goonies and any of that. I had to watch these assholes on TV 24 hours a day, bro. So my generation was very different than them, because we were blinded. We didn't know what was outside. It's like being stuck on one block and you don't know any better. With
What's
the
so
internet,
crazy is it's not even your religion.
yeah.
It's not. It's a forced religion on you.
Yeah, it's a forced religion on us, bro. Again,
Yeah.
it's not. It wasn't our fucking people. Like, it wasn't our people, man.
Yeah, well, Shah, I
And
can
it's
tell you this: like, I've been alive a lot longer than you. I've never seen pro-Iranian propaganda from American people like this in my life. It is across all, and I will be very honest with you, and I think you already know where it's coming from. It's coming from the center left, right wing people. Like, it is coming from those people, because I don't know what. And again, it should have came from the left. Like 20 years ago, only the left would be involved in this, don't you think? Right? Like, if this was 20 years ago, only left and left of center people would be excited about this in America.
absolutely, man. And again, it's because the conservatives, and I hope people in the UK get motivated to do the same. I hope
I
they're
know.
watching. I hope they're watching what's happening in Iran and being like, yo, this is going to be the future of our country. Like, half of UK is Muslims now, bro.
I know.
Like, they're not even just because they're Arabs, but there's a lot of people converting. The college campuses in the UK are one of the biggest
they're being
places.
indoctrinated because again, they also are very afraid to ever criticize Islam now, because they've counted on this immigration,
Yeah.
into their culture. And, listen, I don't know that you're going to find more left-leaning people than me and Shah, but we also are not mentally ill. Like, we recognize when things are extreme, and we don't like extremists. Especially Shah doesn't like extremists.
Yeah. Never, because again, I lived through that shit, bro. I've seen it. And once again, man, I'm so fucking proud of people like this. I'm gonna show you this clip. It's you gotta watch. It's one guy. There's about 30 motorcycles from IRGC members, right? You'll see 30 motorcycles pull in. One guy by himself runs up to them and topples them over, and then you see 1 million people come after it with him. This is the type of shit that makes me want to be like that hits me in the heart, where I'm like, yeah, I want to be there. I want to be there, man.
Oh my God.
Look at all these motorcycles. These are all the IRGC.
There's a lot. And I see a lot of explosions.
Look at them. They're all parking up. And then check this one guy out.
As soon as
one guy starts running, you'll see him right here. You see him? One guy.
Yeah, he's on the right.
One guy. Look, throws it over, and everybody
Here
runs.
they come. Here comes everybody. Here come the reinforcements, bro.
This is how you do a revolution.
And Shah, this is young men between like 20 and 30.
Young men. Look at this. Look at the cops are back and they're reversing and walking away, bro. This is an actual revolution, Look at this fucking shit, man. They run them over with cars. Boom. Hit like 5 of them. It's taking them out smooth, left and right, man. And this is what they deserve, man. I hope every single one of them gets it, man. I know it sounds brutal, but this is a brutal regime, man. They've killed literally millions of my people,
Can we
millions.
talk before we head out? Can we talk a little bit about like the what the women have really brought to this? Because it's brave across the board, but for them in particular to be out in public, making TikTok dances, taking off their hijabs, lighting pictures on fire, lighting cigarettes in public on fire. I mean, Shah,
With his
we talk
picture. Yeah.
with his picture. I mean, I give people an idea of just about how much they have risked here because they really might not understand.
The women led this revolution, 100%. What happened in 2022, they led that revolution. You know what I mean? That was the spark of it.
Yeah.
And right now, there's just as many women out there as men. And again, man, in Iran, bro, it's very risky because once they find out your identity, they're gonna kill you. So all of these, they have a death wish that are out there. If that's why this has to be a revolution, because all these people will get killed, you know.
My God.
And this is the government building. This is the government building. This is one of their main government buildings burning right now. This is from today, by the way.
Wow.
This is from today. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be over, man. This has got to be. This is again
What
once
do you
again from
think?
today.
What do you think the next steps are, like logically, like seeing as how it's just spreading? It's an eventuality. Do you think this is just like a slow coup, and the IRGC just gradually flees the country,
No,
and then
no, no,
mhm,
no.
they got to keep
They
fighting?
will never leave. No, they will never leave. They'll continue to try to come back. They have proxies. This is one of those things where they need weapons, man. It's as simple as that. They need to be killed. I don't know what other
Well,
way I can say it.
isn't that what the Masson is doing?
No, they're not giving them
Oh, I
weapons.
thought they were
They're
giving them
just giving them
weapons.
intel. No, they're just giving them
Intel.
intel, but they're not.
Well,
They don't
intel
have
is
it.
worth
They need to give
valuable as
them
weapons.
weapons. You know, either
Do you
Trump.
want
He's
the
already
United
mentioned.
States to just say to throw in and just go, yeah, we'll help you?
At this point, yeah, because I don't. The only issue I have with that is I don't want it to be. I don't want it to discredit my people, you know, because
Right.
they started this, you know, even though Trump
Mhm.
could potentially just finish it. I don't want it to just be Trump did this, you know, because thousands are gonna
Well, we
die.
know that that's coming, though. We all
Yeah,
know that that's. Let's be
yeah.
honest, it's
But I mean,
coming.
I hope they don't forget images like that. These are all their motorcycles, man. Look how many there is. Piles of motorcycles from the IRGC that they stole. They're burning all of them.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
But
Shah, they're gonna fall. It's not even.
yeah,
It's
everywhere is
an
on bro. It's
eventuality.
every city. It's every city, bro.
You
It's
know.
every
You
city.
know. You know. Do you think there's other nations like? And again, look, there's oppressed people in Turkey, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Iraq, right? In Gaza, right? Do you think, remember they talked about the Arab Spring and then it was like really interesting and then it just kind
Yeah.
of fell apart.
Libya, Egypt. Yeah.
Libya, Egypt, right? Do you think this could be a bigger than a spark? Do you
Yeah,
see
I think
this
it,
possibly, spreading to the region? Because that demographic, that 20 to 30 male demographic is legion in all of these cultures. And a lot of times they're zealots, but they also like the internet and they like Western culture, you know, and they want to be free.
yeah, and I'm hoping it'll have a chain reaction, man. That's what I want, you know, and I think it will. I think there's a lot of countries, you know, that probably do feel like that. I mean, I can't imagine women in Afghanistan are happy, you know, like
Yeah,
I can't imagine women in Pakistan are happy, dude. Like that can't be a thing, you know.
yeah,
And again, man, I credit Iranian women, bro. I really credit the
yeah.
women for this, bro. Like that's again, you have to look at how crazy this is. Imagine an oppressed fucking group of people led by women with no weapons and no support, no
Yeah.
coverage from anywhere, are doing this on their own with blackouts. They can't use their phones. They cut the internet off. Like they're literally doing it with and they're making homemade weapons. They know how to make fucking homemade shotguns now. Like it's so we're getting to that level.
Yeah, really, and with no help. Like honestly,
No
like
help. Yeah.
with no help. No, sometimes these things happen because a superpower backed it. You know what I mean? Like look at Afghanistan and like Russia. You know what I mean? Russia was going after Afghanistan and like we supported them to fuck with Russia and Russia left. These are
Right.
superpowers got involved in this little country's bullshit, with no help. Like that's the one thing I keep thinking about is that, oh, like kids with fucking iPhones did this with access to Starlink. And listen, we should give people their props. I don't care. I don't have strong feelings about Elon Musk. I just don't roll that way. I don't care
Yeah.
one way or the other. But what he did for this country, Shah, this cannot be understated.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He snuck in 150,000 Starlink devices for them to use. So, I mean, a third of the country, when it goes in a blackout, they can still show the rest of the world what's happening.
Yeah.
Since there's no coverage, it's the least that I feel like I can do, and I'll continue to
Yeah.
cover this as long as it happens, man. Because again, no one's covering this. I barely, if CNN covers it, they have a 30-second clip, man. Like it's
Well, again,
ridiculous.
because they've said that regime, that type of regime is fine for Gaza. So how could they go again?
Yeah.
How could they support the Iranian people? It's, like that doesn't make any sense. They're afraid. It's just so embarrassing. For the people that have Patreon, you will be doing, you said, a follow up for the Patreon people, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a few
Oh, of course,
maybe
yeah, for
this
more
weekend, or I'm
development.
gonna wait a few days. I just want to see what the outcome is gonna be, see what happens. So yeah, maybe
Now, when you
maybe this
go to
weekend.
if you go to the protest, will you be like blogging live from the protest?
I'm sure I'll get some clips. I don't think I'm gonna go live or anything. I kind of want to just, Plus over there, man, if I actually go to the embassy, I really have to watch my back because that's not
Okay.
like a peaceful protest. The one in Philadelphia, that's going to be a bunch of Persians gathering, waving flags, and it's a happy time.
Yeah,
The
that
one at
sounds
the
like a good
embassy,
time, bro. Why don't you go do that?
yeah, the one at the embassy though is different because you're
I
literally
would go
going
to the
against.
one, the Philly one. That sounds like a good time, good presence. Good, it's a good vision for people to see. Can you answer before we head out? Can you answer Don Stoney's question? When you were there, did people own small businesses? What were like grocery stores like under the
Yeah,
regime?
yeah. It is all small businesses in my country. There's no, I mean, we have a ton of bootlegs. We have fake McDonald's and everything, but they're not real actual, like, because there's no copyright laws in Iran. So they bootleg everything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So we have a KFC, but it's not real. The menu's not even nothing like the ones that you would know.
Hmm.
Tons of small businesses. We had a center of shops. It was called Tadrish, which is actually where this started from. This started from all the markets, all the small businesses in
Wow.
Tadrish. Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting.
All the business owners in Tadrish are the ones that started this because they closed shop where they said we can't sell anything. There's no profit. Like it's the economy's crashed. Like what the bro? It, $1, right?
Mm.
Toman is our currency.
I was
One
going to ask
dollar
what the currency was. Okay.
well, it's called it's the slang way is toman. The actual authentic way is real, but I just say
Okay.
toman. So $1 used to be 70 toman, 1 to 70. one
Ooh,
dollar today.
it's
No,
like
no, no, no,
Stone Age ratio.
no, 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 no. $1 today is 1.5 million. From 70 to 1.5 million,
Boy,
bro.
those ATM fees must be ridiculous.
How do you go from 70 to 1.5 million? Your country's dead, bro. It's
Yeah.
done. It's
Yeah, for
done.
sure. Well,
You know?
listen, the revolution is being televised. Don't go to your regular news sources. If you consider yourself a left of center person, your leadership there is not on board. They are not there. You have to do a little bit more research there, but all roads lead to a rosy outcome, not a disastrous outcome. And given what's going on in America tonight in certain states, and a lot of this divisiveness, I happily put my focus in the positivity of the people coming from Iran, and what they're doing. I think it's incredibly courageous, especially the women, but everybody on the street is risking their lives. And yet we have girls at Oberlin College who come from wealthy families who are whiter than a fucking bed sheet screaming about horse shit, and they get all this media coverage. It's just very, very, very sad. But that's the sad state of America. Maybe I can go live in Tehran. Sean, maybe we can go do a podcast from there in a few years. That'd be fun. That should be
I
the
mean,
goal.
you're eventually gonna see a spitball media, hopefully, with me in Iran. So
Oh, that'd be
that's
amazing. Like
probably gonna happen.
the Iran episodes.
It's probably
Dude, I
probably
gotta
gonna
say,
happen.
man, like the young people there look like they're ready for it. Like they look like they want to turn it into like Tel Aviv North. You know what I mean? Like they look like they want to dance and hang out and drink and not be oppressed.
Bro,
But
I saw clips of people playing Nirvana outside with instruments, dancing in the
yeah,
middle of this
yeah, people
shit,
smoking cigarettes, yeah, drinking in the public, and
lesbians kissing, and they're
oh yeah,
it's
there was a
done.
lot of and it was all youth culture,
Yeah,
and yet our youth culture can't leave the house because they don't want someone to yell at them. Anyway,
you know.
we're gonna head out now. I want to thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Shah is going to be staying on top of this. This is not a topic that's going away. It just might not be addressed in the normal channels on our show since we cover movies, and we're happy to do that for you. But we hope everybody is getting an education. A lot of people ask questions. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we'll stay on top of this on our periphery there, of course. But Shah will be boots on the ground. So Shah, thanks for answering the stupid American questions.
Yeah, of course. And if anybody's curious, there's some amazing documentaries that like the BBC did back in the 80s and stuff on the revolution in Iran. So if you want to see actual footage from what happened, if you want to see footage from the Iraq and Iran war, all the shit that I've talked about tonight, simply just type it in, and there's literal amazing looking HD documentaries that they've restored
Yeah.
on YouTube right now that you can watch. So
All right. Well, everybody be safe and count your blessings. And of course, we're going to see you on the regular show Thursday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on this very special episode live. Go to Patreon first, but we'll get it in the public feed shortly thereafter. Have a great weekend.
yeah, man. Peace.